everyone! Welcome back to the RacialInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. So you can see it's about 10:30 here on the West Coast, coming into the latter half of the trading day here for a Friday. Quadruple witching. Oh boy, lots of activity in the market here today. TRIers actually, thanks to Kevin, got off a fantastic win here today within the oil services industry. So thank you very much, Kevin. Everybody on the site who participated in his idea did very well today. Maybe we'll show that to you in a bit. Rest of the market, like I put tweets out, it feels as though the market's being finessed here, which is really sad. Sad commentary on the politics of this world. And really, the banksters have to give the politicians the ability to pass, mindless spending programs, just printer press going crazy. Which of course, is to the bankers' delight because they earn interest on all that money. So if you can't really get the politicians to, give the banksters free money unless somehow it's perceived that, the economy desperately needs that money. And the only way to do that, it seems these days, is to tank the stock market. And actually, I even put a challenge out. I put a tweet out basically saying, you Americans, you're the only one left on the world that can do this. I'm up here in Canada. We've completely lost control of our country. Our leader doesn't even listen to us. He takes marching orders from some guy over there in Asia. You all know who that is. You Americans, you're sort of the last bastion of hope for the world. If you could somehow stand up to these banksters, they're going to knock the stock market down. They're going to get all the politicians freaking out. Does it get the constituents to freak out, or do the constituents go, well, we don't really need the stock market to be so elevated. We don't need the banksters to have another free ride. If you Americans do stand up and say enough is enough, maybe, just maybe, we might be able to right this ship here. Unfortunately, I think it's too late. I think the 1% have taken over. I think the 1% have completely dismantled our quote-unquote democracy. And our democratically elected politicians are nothing more than puppets of the banking class. It's kind of sad. Buy Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff. But let's see how juiced the banksters are going to get the politicians into this vote, which I think happens near the end of the month. I think they're even trying to sort of push it, to get it done by the July 4th weekend. And of course, they'll wrap the whole thing in the American flag and make it seem like it's very patriotic when, ironically enough, it's everything but what the American ideal actually was from the get-go. So sad how our society has been so twisted like this. But anyway, it is what it is. So just try and acknowledge where we are market state-wise. If you're a trader, if you're an investor, just understand that, on top of the fact that today is a triple or quadruple witching, this is a really important sort of derivative state. There's a lot of incentive for them to actually knock risk assets down here over the next couple weeks to get the politicians to cave in. So stock market's getting hammered. Interestingly enough, our trading models, and really what I'd like to see happen going forward is, we actually demonstrate, is it worth having a subscription at TRI to get this kind of signal in your mail? Well, you tell me. I mean, if this trade works and we start cranking down, you're going to be like, damn, I need that information. And that's ideally what we want. Right? We're trying to build a better mousetrap. So I do like to see the way that the market's acting here. And ironically enough, it does fit into our recent thesis of buying put options on big sort of oligarchy kind of institutions that really do not serve the public. They serve their shareholders' interests. So I'm more than happy to see this kind of company actually just get torn apart. The sad part about it is the reason why they're going to get torn apart is because they've lent a bunch of money into my market, Canada, and those people are going to get, they could get beat up pretty badly here. The sad part about it is the banks, they always win, right? So ironically enough, if you see a sell signal on a bank, oh boy, what's going on here? There's something big going on here. I've said it repeatedly that the last thing in the world anybody should be doing right now is investing in a country like Canada or Australia or Russia or South Africa, like any sort of classic commodity proxy in the world. That's the last place you should be investing. And sadly, tragically, of course, that is exactly where the public is FOMO buying into. And I think this is going to end really, really, really badly. I've got the puts on the books, and they're long-dated puts. So I'm in no hurry here whatsoever. And like I said, our system that we spent a lot of time building over the past few years, this actually told us specifically the trade setup. So I really like that. So there's your backdrop. Banksters manipulating the market. Are we going to make a ton of money on the long side of the market? Right, not likely. I mean, this is the great part about what we do. Nice diversified basket portfolio of assets. So we do have great stories like this. This is the story I told you. Kevin gave us this idea way down here. I mean, how are we feeling today? I'm feeling pretty good. How you feeling, Kevin? You feeling pretty good about that pick?
Woohoo!
There you go, folks.
I'm pretty good.
Good. You should, because I've worked with you for a few years. You, my friend, have turned into a damn fine trader. You should feel good about yourself. Problem here is, unless you understand this kind of thinking here, I mean, this is what the public sees when they see the stock market. They see this. And I spent a lot of time in the video today trying to convey the idea to the community. Your job here at TRI is to avoid this. This is shit. This has got disaster written all over it. And yet, of course, this is what the public is buying on fucking, Barstool guy and Chapak, whatever his name is, and his SPACs, Wall Street bets and stuff like that. Unless you really know what you're doing in this space, be careful here, folks. I see this market has got trouble written all over it. This kind of anecdote's super, super dangerous. So, be careful. It's interesting. I had pointed out that there are some interesting areas in the market. For instance, one of Julian's idea, again, we're building pretty good stock traders here at TRI, and it's a great diversified a group of people. So it's not just one person, but, this is one that was running up here. Obviously, there's your W, and we're all long from back here, so we've already got, sell halves on doubles already done. But, I mean, look at this chart on a weekly basis. You need to be able to look at that chart and go, okay, that's a place that's not a bad idea to have some money working. But at the same time, too, I'm not here to tell you what to buy, and I'm not telling you to buy this here. In fact, I wouldn't. It's not a good trade location. You want to be buying down here. But, TRIers are loaded up. This is a good-looking story. This is not shit. Like I said, you come in on GME here, you're just asking for trouble. And this thing could go, it could go all the way right back down to the original breakout. All the way down here. So, I spent quite a bit of time today in the video today scolding what I see sort of people tried to come in a year or so ago, on YouTube and stuff like that, calling themselves stock pickers and invest with me and you'll make tons of money. And of course, the market went up. So if you did get long, great. But once the market moves up, now what? So, there's one guy on social media who's super bullish of this Tesla here. And, I mean, this is a weekly price chart. So, really, you could argue since January, this thing's done nothing. It looks like it's getting ready to do something, eh? So, how ironic. But, really good example where, a lot of people are kind of getting a little frustrated. There's that Kathy Wood, same sort of thing. I mean, you can come in on the long side there, I suppose, but that's not really something I'd be interested in. That looks extremely risky. There are a lot of really cool EV stories out there that the chart does not look like this. All right, we'll see how it goes. Considering this is 2021 and all the insanity of the market, I wouldn't be surprised that by time we actually get through this window, that vote is passed and all that crap, the 1% gets a whole bunch more free money, and away we go. We're back going into orgy mode. And, same thing with crypto. I wouldn't be surprised that once we get through this July event, we got to get on the other side of this, then they're going to get all fucking jazzed about the market again. But we got to get on the other side of this vote. And I think that risk is getting knocked down here because the banksters have to motivate the public to call up their politicians and demand that they do more stimmy, do more debt, do more, Biden's green infrastructure bullshit nonsense. That's what I think's going on here. The public's getting played. Simple as that. It's interesting, today is an options expiry. Like I said, quadruple wishing. I actually think that they want the stock market up above this 420 level on the SPY. You see a bunch of assets that all sort of have that same level. So we are conjecturing about how, what's the 1%'s plan and how are they going to get the market up here. You've already got some pretty juicy tails from yesterday. This is a big gap. That 420 area is sort of right in the middle of that gap. Can they rally it up and fill in this? If they can't, and those options actually expire in the money, then actually it says 420s, right? That's 75,000 contracts, and each contract is 100 shares. So that's 7.5 million shares to be sold there at 420 on the SPY. We're starting to talk some serious money here, folks. I mean, even if the average right price was $1, that's, what did I say, 7.5 million shares times $420. The notional value of this position is massive, stunningly big. So if these options, and these ones are going to expire worthless, right? But if these options do actually expire in the money, then what it means to me is that Wall Street, they're going to have to buy this stock, and they are going to be motivated to sell. So if you actually look at the SPY chart, that kind of makes sense. If they cannot rally this back by the end of today, then this is going to create, actually it'll be interesting. We'll leave this in the comments. Who can tell me what chart pattern this pattern is, where there's a hole in the charts over here and there's a hole in the charts over here. What pattern is that? And if we, of course, finish here today, beep, done, couldn't get back up and fill in that gap, and then we trade on Monday morning through that low, what does that represent? And obviously, if we trade through that low, you're thinking sell signal, and you should be, right? Point of the matter here is this pattern right here where we jumped up here, we left a hole, and then jumped back down here, left a hole. This is actually a very specific chart pattern. So I'd be curious on the comments. You want to learn things while you're watching these videos. Here's something you can learn that maybe you never knew before. But that actually is a very specific chart pattern. And if we do fire through the low there Monday morning and finish like this, that is a very large sell signal. Just like how we left this hole here, we jumped up, we went through, and that was a big buy signal. So we'll see how it goes. And then also, too, to us talking about the banksters and their motivations. As I said, I think into the end of this month, they're going to be heavily motivated to knock this stock market and any kind of risk market down so that all of you in the public are freaking out, demanding your politicians send you more free money, endorse more debt, more debt, more debt. Which, of course, that's exactly what the banksters need and want. So, tough market here, right? And I thought that they really were going to get this thing back above 420 and it would just sort of be business as usual. But they are having a damn difficult time. And probably the tell, because I think that crypto is a really good leading indicator in the market. Really good tell that things are looking a little dicey here. Remember, what are the politicians, what are the banksters motivated to do here? It makes sense that this does look dicey. I actually went and picked up a little bit of this Litecoin on this double bottom recently. I don't like the look of this, so I just took the small loss. I was just like, you know what? I don't need to be a hero here. Get me the fuck out. So I don't know whether I have that on here. No. New. Okay, so it's not over here. It must be over on my other chart deck. Where are we here? There we are. And look at my little fucking... This is what pisses me off, right? Is they dump all the big boys. So now my fucking shitcoin 5000s that I'm working stink bids on, I need the price to come down. They all go up on a day like that. So I was able to get in on this one. I thought that was kind of funny. And, you know, Bitcoin shits the bed. This guy jumps up relative to Bitcoin. So go figure. But what I wanted to show you was... well, I guess you can't really see it here, but I thought it's not weird. I thought I had it written up on here. Must be one of these other ones. No, I'll just go here. No biggie. What's this? Oh, because that's Coinbase. I think I have it right. There we go. Yeah. So, I bought this W the other day. Kind of like feeling, you know, I mean, the market was feeling kind of uppy. There's a question, okay, we're going to rock and roll. Actually, I kind of got a shitty fill here because I did it on Trek, so I didn't even really get that good of a level on the fill. And then, you know, right after I bought this, the goddamn thing went in and put this 3-bar fractal in here, and this is a bearish fractal. So I was out with Liam yesterday. We had a really nice day, long car ride, went up into the mountains. Actually, we went up and visited the gondola. If anybody was on the TRI meetup trip in Vancouver a few years ago, we took a gondola ride up to the top of one of the local mountains. So Liam and I were doing that yesterday. Came back, and that was to this candle here, and I was like, oh, fuck me, what the hell is going on here? So on that 3-bar fractal, I was like, do I really have to be a hero here? Like, does it make that big of a difference? And I was like, fuck it, just get me the fuck out of here. So I just walked away. And you can see, you know, hindsight's 20/20. It looks like that was a half-decent idea. And as you can see on this screen here, I still like Charlie. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Charlie. It's just, I don't need to be a hero. And if I saw this weakness, I'm like, just get me out of here. But I do like the idea that we're probably going to walk along this trend line. I've told you this before. One of the reasons why I didn't like this trade, and I was a little pissed off at myself, was that I didn't wait for the W on the other side of the trend line. And you can see that here. This is why we have to wait for a W on the other side. And sure enough, we're puking out. So I don't know where this W is going to come in. Hopefully it looks something like this, and we can hold these lows. It might not. It might not. But long and short of it here, I walked away from this trade. And I'm not overly excited about the long side of the market. I mean, you can see, it's a sea of red in crypto. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Ironically enough, the only part of the market that actually looks okay is a lot of my shitcoins that I'm trying to buy cheaper. Wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen, jerks. Like this shitcoin index. Oh boy, that looks bad. What are we supposed to think if we ever see the market smiling at us? Is that a smile? Is this a smile? Is this a smile? Oh my God, look at all these damn smiles. Is this a smile? Is this a smile? I mean, you get the idea. This hasn't fired yet, but it's sitting there. And then just here in the short term, look at this. Ay, 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 ay. So many smiles. Ay, 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 ay. Boom. Big sell signal. So, that's not really looking overly bullish. And you can even see they're right on their heels. This could puke out easily here. In fact, that comment about Litecoin and trend lines. Right? So, if you want to short this, you want to short an M on the other side of this trend line. So you can see rallied up against the trend line. M out. This is fully on the other side of the trend line. That right there. Up, down, up, fail. That's an outright sell signal. Look at that. He didn't take any heat. Just straight down. So, put it all together. It's not really overly optimistic, folks. And understanding basically Jerome Powell is not working in your behalf. You have to understand that, everybody. Jerome Powell is not working on your behalf. He works for a private consortium of profit-driven individuals. He takes orders from them, not working for your best interest. Sad, but it is true. You have to understand that. It's pathetic, really. Those are the kind of statements, unfortunately, that are probably going to get a guy like me assassinated. Because it's the truth. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to see the truth. They make it so incredibly clouded. Spent a lot of time, and actually, thank you, Sharky, appreciate it. Spent a lot of time in the Daily Brief today. For God's sakes, people, go and watch this. It's 3 hours, 29 minutes. Go and watch this before it's taken down. The 1% will not let this video stay up, especially if clowns like me keep talking about it. But you want to understand how the money system works. For God's sakes, you have to go and watch this video. I mean, you just have to. I mean, it's not really an if. You have to. The interesting thing about this, though, is that, this crazy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, they're going to take a serious run at this hegemony system. I don't think they're going to win, because keep in mind, governments can murder you if they feel like it, whereas Bitcoin can't. So my hunch is that the governments, the 1%, the money masters, right, the banksters, they're going to finesse this system so that they control this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space before they ever let it sort of become industry standard as our currency going forward. I get the impression that that's actually a lot of what's going on here over the past few years. The sad part about it is, public always buys up markets. Institutions always buy down markets. Public that never learns this lesson, though. It's so frustrating. So you even heard, a couple of months ago, people that I actually thought were half-decent market participants acting like total buffoons. And those people that blindly just listen to buffoonery, they're now probably seriously considering, why am I invested in this idea? I'm dying 1,000 deaths. Maybe let's even call up that lawyer that said that if there was some stock promoter that you felt kind of, and in this case cryptocurrency, so you probably don't have much luck because it's unregulated. But let's sue anyway, right? We live in a world of lawsuits. Let's fucking sue anyway. And let's see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a lot of that coming down the pike here. And the worst part about it, right, is that, I keep talking to you people about cost of production. Bitcoin doesn't give a flying fuck about price up here. It just doesn't care. The only thing Bitcoin really cares about is it has to stay above these lines. As long as it stays above these lines, and there's a bunch of them, right? There's a bunch of generations of equipment that are being used right now, and they probably look something like this. The only thing Bitcoin cares about is it has to stay above these lines. So up here, Bitcoin couldn't give a flying fuck about what price is doing. And if anything, you go and look at things like, well, how does the network feel right now? And you have to learn that when when you're getting like these red signs on the market here, the market is not happy. This is a bad sign. So you have to somehow refrain from coming in and investing your life savings in this asset when it looks like this. The fact that actually it's cleaned itself up and it's starting to W here, well, you can see there's W. Look at what price did. Look, there's W. What did price do? So things are looking a hell of a lot better. But for fuck's sakes, and maybe put in the comments how I was banging the fucking, I don't know, table, desk, wall, ceiling, barking about this. I put out tweets. This isn't going to end well. This has got trouble written all over it, and yet people just kept fucking telling me I'm an idiot. So what am I doing wrong here? I don't get it. Anyway, long and short of it here now, ironically enough, we're out of that disaster. So we can actually think about starting to be buyers. And what a coincidence. They're going to fucking rip the stock market apart. You can see, look at that stock index. That thing looks like it's about to fall off a fucking cliff. So I would actually make the argument Bitcoin right now is coming into buying windows. The network is happy. We're getting back down out of fucking nosebleed territory. So what's the public going to be thinking now? They're going to be thinking crash. And they're probably going to be panic selling on whatever weakness we have over the next week or two. It's so cliche, folks. It kills me. So I think I showed you we were able to get like some winners off here today. Nothing in crypto. Actually, I had to square off a loser here. So I suppose actually I did come out technically ahead because I took about $500-600 on my little THW warrant, and I had to take a $300 loss on the Litecoin trade. So I did actually come out a couple $100 on the day. Not bad, but shit happens. So you kind of you're hearing my statement, hopefully, about what they're doing in the stock market and risk assets. I don't think this has anything to do with any of the fundamental value of any of this stuff. Because the problem is that there technically really isn't much fundamental value in any of this stuff up here anyway. So they, and I even said this to the crew here today, I hope you can understand. They, and actually the Bitcoin chart's even better. They bid the price up like this. Public comes in and buys here, but they don't understand. They're not buying value. Market gets knocked down, back down to value, and the public actually is going to be selling thinking this is all a fraud. Call my lawyer. And the irony of it all is that I told you, public buys up markets, institutions buy down markets. FYI, I've got bids to buy Bitcoin the whole fucking way down here. So do as you please. All right, now I see that we have 5 people watching the YouTube channel, even though theoretically there should be nobody there. Big brother, are you enjoying the show? Sure hope so. Maybe leave a comment. Let us know whether, hey, big brother, maybe hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell, and maybe explain to us why you're watching this video, even though you're not supposed to be here right now. I'm going to leave off the video with this image because I got to say, I'm pretty damn proud of myself of this image. I've been talking to you in the public. I'm an open book. You all should be aware of that. I do these videos regularly so you can see in glorious Technicolor whether I'm bullshitting you or not. Whether I'm hypocritical. Whether one day I say one thing and then the next day I'm flip-flopping and I say something else. those are the kind of people you want to avoid like the fucking plague in this kind of world. They won't do you any good. In fact, half of what I have to do here at TRI is stop people from being that kind of idiot nonsense. The sign of somebody I think that is worth following is they say something and then they go, all right, well, let's see what happens over time. I will lay down my prognostication and let's see what happens. And I gotta say, man, I laid this out a few months ago and we talked through this. I talked to you repeatedly about how Kevin really liked that market symmetry message. We talked about how we were going to come up against this channel top. In fact, we never even did get to Mountain Man levels. I would have thought we would have. What it looks like to me, I suppose, is we just stalled up against these highs in here. And you can see how I drew my squiggly line theory. I was looking for a top to come in and then the market to tank. And I think that, man, we're right on course here, which is scary because now the next key support line for gold is this level there. But if this really gets going in earnest, really, I hate to say it, all you gold bugs are going to hate that, but it sure looks like we got a date for $1,500 here. So, can't really be too bullish of gold. And then also, too, if we think about what the banksters are doing, they're going to make it look like the economy is falling off a cliff, which means that they're going to make it look like deflation is taking control, which make it look like, everybody's going to lose their jobs, make it look like GDP is going to look horrible. It's going to make it look like growth is horrible, blah, 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 blah. So how on earth can you justify gold prices going up, right? That's deflationary. Gold prices should go down. So put it all together, considering when the old historical was the US dollar index and gold should move in opposites. So interestingly enough, maybe we're reaffirming that concept here. And, I think I posted this the other day. Foggy boggy levels, really 93.5 should get tripped up. The interesting thing is if we do go through 93.5 here, 877s are all the way up at 96.75. But what I could see happening here is if we do go through this 93.5, well, then this huge fractal bottom fires, and that should take us up to, 99, so 100, big fat round number. Totally could see that. But probably the ultimate destination is this 107, 4669. I like that thinking. So anyway you shake it, that and especially probably this rally off of this trend line low up into that 2.618, that's probably your rally that knocks gold back to like $1,500. So this could be a really interesting few weeks ahead of us because frankly speaking, I don't think Joe Biden has the votes to pass his socialist agenda. And the only way they're going to be able to drum up those votes is they have to get the American populace back into that. I don't know whether you remember, but in the meat of the crisis there a year or so ago, there was actually a right-wing politician that said, shouldn't we debate this stimulus? Shouldn't we sort of talk a little bit about what the implications of going and just fucking blowing up our budget, blowing everything up, and just giving in to these banksters and just doing whatever it is that they want? Shouldn't we debate that? And the response was just like this tsunami of, no, shut up, fuck you, just emotion. And I think they have to get the politicians in that same mindset to pass this next socialist agenda. And interestingly enough, I actually laid the challenge. I said, obviously to our local community, you Americans, you've got an opportunity here where you could actually maybe stand up to these banking class and say, we'll go through some tough times here in the short term. Let's get these stock prices back down. Hey, if we have to have some unemployment now, so be it. If anything, it would probably be better that we do all this now because the unemployment rate already really is super, super ridiculous high. It's just these banksters, they fugazi the numbers in our faces. So why don't we stand up and say no? Enough is enough. I just don't think that the banksters are going to allow that rational conversation to happen. So, great lesson on capitalism. Fascinating how now we're up to 6 viewers. And now we've got, I don't even know who these people are. Wade Wilkins. Who are you, Wade Wilkins? ZZZZZZ. The stream is showing for subscribers. Interesting. So, obviously, Wade Wilkins and ZZZ, you got a free show to hear today. Take it for whatever it's worth. I mean, hopefully you can see I'm an open book. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. Slow and steady wins a race. Try not to take any wooden nickels. For God's sakes, people, pay your taxes. Don't break any laws here. Because I could tell you, if you give Big Brother the opportunity to dump on you, pay your taxes. Don't break any laws. If you got to go get stabbed to keep the 1% happy, it looks like we're screwed. You're just gonna have to do what they say. And if anything, what I really want you to take away from today's video is understand the context of what's going on in the market right now. I don't think it's pure economics. I think it's pure politics. And so as a result, try not to let yourself get played, because I think that the banksters are going to really try and play us really hard here. Okay, there you go. Public service message. Probably going to get myself assassinated. It wouldn't surprise me, folks. But hey, somebody's got to at least talk to you to tell the truth here. And maybe, if we're lucky, maybe we can somehow get control of our society again. Maybe it's we got to just abandon these fiat currencies and live in a crypto world. I don't know. Actually, it might be nice if that was the case, and we just, rip the bandage off and get it done. The only problem with that, of course, is it might end in some crazy nuclear war or something. So, oh well. PMA for the win. We'll see everybody for broiler chickens. Look at all these fucking comments coming up here, Kevin. This is crazy. So, I mean, we've got an audience now, even though theoretically I'm supposed to be recording this, so I don't say anything stupid, and if I do, nobody will hear it and I can go re-record it. But nope, that's not the case. All right, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. All the best. And bye for now.